The
has
teams
anything
are
but
ready,
Nunu.
so we are going. And let me. Okay, we are already on pick and bans. I am very proud of myself.
Really well done.
I did not break anything yet.
Big
Is
emphasis
Nunu-
on the yet Twitch chat. Don't worry, it's coming. The scuff is coming.
There it
It's not.
I
is.
It's not a summoner showdown without some scuff. Okay, we've
I'm
got
a
Nunu and
professional
Syndra
streamer.
first bans.
I have chat on my phone, guys.
A Karma being banned, yeah, no, that makes sense. It does look like Anuli does play quite a bit of Karma, but wait, no, Anuli's on the team that banned Karma. That's interesting. I'm expecting to see maybe an Akali ban, maybe a Nami ban as well, or an Ezreal ban. For well, the Nami and Ezreal is going to be on the side of
All right.
Narwid win. There's a lot of one tricks there, but we do
This is a
have
high.
no
This is a
Akali
fast
ban. Is
pass.
interesting.
Yeah, Carlos made it through.
Yeah,
Very
I would like to
surprisingly.
see an Akali first pick here, to be completely honest with you. Usually it's not something you do want to pick first, as she can be countered quite easily, but given that it's not only the Grandmaster and the fact that they seem to be a fairly heavy one-trick on Akali, it seems like a really easy pickup. Yeah, and then, yeah, we get the
There it
Akali
is.
locked in.
What actually would you be trying to pick into it? I guess
Ye-
Ari would have been a decent
Yeah,
pick
Ari would have
into.
been one of probably the best picks for it, especially because I do believe that the mid lane on the side um, of I don't know their names, but on the red team, they do have
It's your
a Ari
favorite
player.
name.
Okay, so red team's Nari win. Okay, got
Yeah.
there. Cast a moment. But yeah, they pick up the Ezreal. I'm expecting they're probably going to lock in Nami as well, since they are both the one tricks. It's hard to expect them to play anything else, and they just managed to get the champs that they're comfortable on. Though they do have some fallbacks with like maybe a Soraka, though it does look like their ADC is actually mostly, I don't even know, they play everything. They play top lane, they play mid, they play jungle, they play ADC. We've got a jack of all trades on the Ezreal, which is probably the best kind of person to be on an Ezreal.
Yeah, there's very few things you want. Yeah, as
And they're going to lock in with an Aatrox. Strong
this
pick, but this early, I'm not a huge fan of it. Top lane's so um, reliant on those counter picks and those matchups that
I,
I guess they could be hoping for an Akali topside, in which case Aatrox isn't actually that bad of a pick into it, but I'm more than certain that Akali's going mid.
worst case scenario, you could also try to flex it into the jungle. Aatrox jungle is still quite viable.
Yeah, no, I could see that. The Lee Sin pickup, also kind of expected there. They a lot of one tricks across the board here. It seems like both teams have a mix of between 2 to 3 one tricks. So we'll see how these one tricks perform and if they can really live up to their namesake.
Definitely. And Yunara took maybe. Yeah, I think I'd probably say Yunara into the Ezreal would be a decent matchup, but they decided
But
to
they
go to
go for
Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa.
Definitely, I definitely think it's going to be a little bit better of a choice. Kai'Sa is notoriously slippery.
Yeah, no, I think Kai'Sa's a much better choice, especially against an Ezreal, an Aatrox, people that are looking to jump on you. And even with the Galio, that invis, the speed, and then also the ability to really jump in where needed, especially when you are facing champions like Ezreal that can dash away both offensively and defensively. I think I prefer the Kai'Sa here. While the Yunara can probably put out more damage if she manages to get the lead that she needs, the Kai'Sa just offers more versatility across the board, especially given the champs that have been picked on the
Yeah.
side of Narweed win.
Back into the banning phase, and is it really a Leona ban? I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really thrilled by that Leona ban. I don't think you're really worried about Leona. I mean, you have Ezreal E. He can escape the E even after Leona's thrown it. You have Aatrox dash. You have Galio just not caring if people are on top of him because that's exactly where he wants them to be. Um,
Very valuable poppy ban there as well. Making sure to not interrupt any of the dashes
Yeah,
coming
no,
in from
Poppy
Akali,
ban.
Lee Sin,
Honestly, I
and
think
Kai'Sa.
Poppy is bad for both teams, to be completely honest. Both of them have things that Poppy just doesn't want to be there, that they don't want Poppy to be there for. Follow up with a Nautilus. So it's 4 bans on the support at the end there. I don't think they've really scouted their teams, as none of the supports seem to play a lot of these more engagey, peerly based supports. So I think we might just see a Nami, a Soraka get picked up on the side of Narweed win, and then maybe something like a Bard I'd like to see on the side of WWC.
Yeah, I can't find any of these players playing any of those 4 champions in the last
Yep, there we
20
go. We get the
games.
Nami.
Let's
Nami will
go.
Not
get
the
through this.
strongest combo, Ezreal Nami, but not the worst either. He
No.
does have the ability to proc her E with the Q. Doesn't really manage to get full procs unless he's going to go for some kind of attack speed variant with lethal tempo, which I would actually like to see versus the Kai'Sa potentially. Optins for a Pike, so very squishy team on the side of WWC. No, changes to
Surely
the
not.
Rakan. And then
Or
finalizes on a Rao, maybe? A
oh,
Rao. Yeah.
that's really nice.
Yeah, Rao is a really great pickup. A lot of disruption there against the Aatrox, the Galio, and some peel for the Kai'Sa in the bot lane if Nami finds some bubbles. So really, really nice pickup on the support there. And
Engage
then we're
can be
just
still be
left
quite
with
tricky into an army as well.
And then we're just left with the top lane. Though I am surprised they didn't pick up the top lane sooner, considering they knew that Aatrox was on the field. Though I guess they could be thinking that it might be going to jungle. If it is a top lane, I think Scion's it's a fine pick. It doesn't really kill the Aatrox, but the Aatrox doesn't really kill the Scion, so Scion's really just playing for the late game there, which I don't hate when you've got a Kai'Sa and a Kali. I do wish they maybe would have picked something like a Jarvan or a Rek'Sai instead of a Lee Sin, though, as Lee Sin just notorious for not really having that late game potential unless you can consistently get those insects, get those wraparounds in the team fights.
And NVV seem to have predicted that and actually banned Joven as the third pick, as the third
Oh
one.
yeah, no, they did. They banned the Jarvan.
And yes, Aatrox jungle. Or
Yeah.
this is a
Followed with a
Gwen.
Gwen top, which I think the Gwen's super important. They're lacking magic damage, and Gwen is insane against Scion. So a really, really hard matchup now for Scion. They were correct in assuming that the Aatrox was going to go jungle, which I think I prefer. I think the Aatrox pick, not really that commonly picked in jungle, and it can definitely be a way to try and force out those top lane picks, even when you're not going top lane with it. So I think overall a fairly decent draft on both sides. I think the support bans at the end maybe were a bit questionable, but a solid draft by both teams, and I don't think anybody really lost or won in the draft phase. I think both of them are trying to do very specific things. On the side of WWC, they really want to get those early picks to get that Lee Sin scaling, so he can make pressure on the map and allow Kai'Sa and Akali to come online with the Scion just being a brute force in those side lanes. And then on the side of Narweed Win, they just have a very solid game plan throughout. They want to get to that mid game, they want to skirmish, they want a team fight, and they want to just have these big battles where they can just really just outclass and outscale the champs that that WWC have picked for that kind of mid-game potential.
Yeah, definitely. They are also having a favorable matchup in pretty much every single lane. Galio does fairly well into Kali. Gwen does terrific into Scion. Ezreal very safe against the engagement Rel, and the disengagement Nam is definitely going to keep him healthy and safe.
Yeah, you would definitely expect champ for champ that Narweed Win would be in a better position, but just due to the nature of the champions that we have on WWC with Kai'Sa, Akali, Lee Sin, very playmaking heavy champions, so there's always the potential for them to just kind of run away with the game if they get the crucial leads that they can capitalize on in the early game. And it looks like we might be seeing some action in the bot lane. Pings coming out from both teams. No, it just looks like we're going to go with a basic setup at the start of the game.
I don't know why it's not working, guys.
What's not working, Shade?
the the scoreboards and stuff, they're supposed to be shown, but they're not showing. I don't know why.
Go message Shane. I am of no help there.
So who's directing the camera?
It is
It's auto.
automatic, the cameras. It's just that there's not really much for the camera to really look around at the start of the match.
Okay, I was more just to see if someone's going to direct it. Otherwise, we have to. If we look at two different things, we're going to start calling different things.
Yeah, just leave your camera just as it is in the client. Let the client just move the camera for you. That way we can be in line with what Twitch chat is seeing as well, so there's no kind of confusion in what we're casting.
That's it.
Some skirmishes happening between the mid and top laners, just some back and forth, no real leads to be had yet.
Good trade. Both junglers do are pathing away from each other, so no real jungle interaction is going to be happening this early on.
I fixed it.
Easy. Hey, good job.
Good job.
Nope. Rel
Nice
showing.
little engage onto the Nami there. Trying to proc the Kai'Sa passive, doesn't quite get it. Nami does fight back with her W though.
Great taunt. Good use of the Akali there, dodging away from the knockup.
Yeah. Hunty needs to be a bit careful there. He's definitely facing down the barrel of the gun that is Akali right now.
Curious enough, the Storm Raider Surge choice on a Galio.
I think that's a really good pickup, to be honest. Galio's historically been a huge fan of Phase Rush. He's got very easy ways to proc it, and after he's done his initial combo, he doesn't really have much to say until his cooldowns are back up. So it's nice to give
Yeah.
him that mobility. He's also picked up Exhaust, which I think it's a bit deceiving versus Akali. By the time that you're able to actually click on her and get that exhaust, a lot of her combo has already come out. So maybe I would have liked to see something like a barrier, or just something that helps him get to the point where he's able to contest the damage that she's able to put out with his passive.
Yeah, I was more thinking the proc conditions for Phase Rush and Storm Raiders is quite different. I don't know if he actually has the damage to proc it this early on.
Maybe not. I think it's definitely a rune that he's taking for skirmishes and fights a little bit later
Oh,
on.
definitely.
But I just don't see what other thing he would probably want to take against the Akali. I mean, there's the option for Earthshaker. Wait, is it
Aftershock.
Earthshaker? Aftershock, sorry. I've been playing too much Dota recently. Yeah, no, there's the
Ooh.
option for Aftershock. Maybe he could take the I forget what it's called. I never run it because I don't play support, but the one that if you CC them, ally Guardian, that's it. Guardian could be a good
Wait,
pickup for later on into the
yeah,
match. But I just don't see any of the real good options for him. I mean, he could take
yeah,
Spellwork, which I actually wouldn't hate. I think taking Spellwork on him actually might be fine to get him TP later into the match when it's more important. But overall, it's
yeah,
just a rough lane for that Galio against the Akali.
he's
Silent Gwen
straight.
fighting forces the Gwen to flash away there.
That's actually really surprising. He's playing that really well. Actually,
Yeah,
getting.
I mean,
We're looking at
Sion.
potential dive here. They send a path of
Oh yeah, they're looking for the potential
getting him.
dive. Huge wave on the deck. It's going to be massive. Gwen uses the W to get away from the CC. Lee comes in with the ward and kills with the E.
Safeguard and rest.
Listen, I haven't played League in God knows how long. I don't know the names
No,
of
that's fine.
abilities. I used to. I used to. I could name pretty much every ability,
Oh,
but thankfully
Rel
I
looks wants
can't anymore.
Rel
But
wants
going
to
in,
tussle.
Kai'Sa jumps in onto the Ezreal. Bit of mismatching of who they're targeting there. Maybe could have got a kill onto the Ezreal if the Rella jumped onto there.
Yeah, Ezra jumped in with the arcane shift actually to block the Kaiser W there, but took a lot of damage in return.
Scion being a bit cheesy, finding that execute there. Going to get some damage onto the Gwen under tower. Gwen in a really rough position. That dive really sets her back. Already a rough early game until she gets her ulti, followed by losing. I think it was 2.5 waves if you count the cannon that she lost. So really,
Yeah.
really rough, both in gold and XP for the Gwen top lane, which really might allow the Scion to get the key item that he really needs to kind of survive against the Gwen's onslaught when she does manage to get her Nash's Tooth.
Yeah, double magic resist, pick up a null magic mantle and a
There's a lot of options you go. He could
mega
go
chopper.
no magic mantle goes into a lot of like really huge things that could be good. He could get the Kanik Rookan. He could go into the one that every magic damage you get movement speed, which I just can't remember the name of.
Force of nature.
Yeah, force of nature. That's it. Or you could stop for just something
No.
simple like a spirit visage, which I don't. Hopes he does. I hope he doesn't. He doesn't have much healing on the team outside of his shield, so I hope it is going to be Rookan or force of nature.
Some
Or
knowledge
maybe
trades coming in there.
could maybe even opt in for Abyssal Mask, which doesn't benefit him specifically, but could be huge for later fights with the Kai'Sa and the Akali. But I think Force of Nature is probably the correct play. Tiamat picked up there for Lee Sin.
Making that notoriously slow play of Lee Sin actually even a little bit faster. And the damage is deceptively high.
A 1.5k gold lead now on the side of WWC over here, mostly all directed towards that Lee Sin and that Scion, though Akali does have a surprising lead just from CS. I mean, 30 CS down on the Galio now.
It is not really what you want to see. The one trick have in a matchup they should be quite might even lose on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to feel bad for Hunty, a Grandmaster Akali player, and when you're left to your own devices, it can be rough.
Yeah. A little
But
bit
he
worried.
chooses to
Lee
play
Sin is
safe.
doing a sneaky dragon here as this start attempt. I don't know if
Aatrox is coming down. I
MVP
think they
has
may have
seen it.
saw him. Yeah, Galio coming down to the rotate as well.
Oh.
They may be trying to stop the Lee Sin of the Dragon here.
Stopping it. No bot lanes moving and punishing it, dragon out of the pits.
Yeah,
Lee
Dragon's currently
Sin
at 1.9k
Resonating Strike
HP.
has connected, and he first dragon
Then
to
he steals the
VPN.
dragon as well. Unfortunately,
Galio
Twitch chat didn't get to see that, but a really great steal to pick up there from the Lee Sin, following up by a fight. Ezreal flash causes the Galio to flash away. We're all going to get bubbled by the Nami as we're throwing Qs out. And overall, a really good pickup on the side of WWC. Again, they get a Drake, they get 2 kills. Raider pushes themselves ahead, especially with that Hextech Dragon. Ability is going to be
And
very nice with that kind of team. Attack speed is going to be very useful for Lee Sin clearing the jungle, for Kai'Sa proccing her passive. So just a really nice pickup at this point in the game.
also even more worrying is the Sion solo killed Gwen in the top lane.
Sion
This
did
is
solo kill Gwen in the top
yeah.
lane.
This
This is
is
turning
oh,
into a
Rel
disaster.
jumping in with the Magna Storm. Ezreal is safe, but the Nami's got about the dust. And sadly, the kill goes over to the Realm, which is not really what you want to see, but not that bad either. This Collie just does not let him back. Oh, is it taller
Yeah,
than
stepping
the turret?
closer than
Knock
he really
up.
should have, but does get the Kali under the tower.
One more turret shot and I actually would have done it. This Ezra's looking desperate for some mana here. It just isn't allowed to shove it out.
Narweed win. Do pick up the Void Grubs though, so that is going to be a little bit of gold going to the team. XP on the Aatrox, obviously, and if they do manage to get some towers, hopefully gets them some more plates than they would otherwise expect.
I don't know if people knew this, but Gwen is immune.
Common Gwen trait, being immune.
Have a tendency to be that, yeah. I think the Void Girls actually a fairly decent pickup because if there is a team that is going to be split pushing or trying to get some towers, it's going to be this Gwen from MVP.
The question is she going to be able to get into a position where she can start pushing those towers while the plates are still meaningful?
Not the way that this game matchup is going right now. Spectral
Galio
Cal
back in lane with the Cinder Bloom. Probably would have liked to see maybe a normal magic mantle from him, just given the amount of damage he's taken from the Akali.
The fight going to the bot lane. Navi is caught out by Rel again. Some decent damage to trade on here to the Kai'Sa. Rel is doing all she can to body block, but Ezreal just does the auto attacks.
Yeah, huge plays from Ezra there, just following deep onto the Kai'Sa, allowing the Nami to get away, knowing that she's going to be safe, and just putting all the force that he can onto the Kai'Sa to get that kill. Just really making use of that lethal tempo, which, like I said in the draft, something that I was hoping to see. Lethal tempo surprisingly good on Ezra. A lot of people don't think he can really do the auto attack spam that a lot of these earlier champions can, like Kai'Sa, but really has the potential with spamming out those Qs and just resetting his attack speed with his passive.
So, some more normal bookkeeping. Gwen pushed in on the turret again. Again, becomes immune. That's a decent scaffold there in the mid lane when it comes to Galio and Akali. And Galio actually coming
he's
out on
caught
top
up.
of it.
He's only like what 25 CS behind, but I mean he was like 30 something earlier, so he is catching up. I mean the Cinderbloom doing some work and helping him get the CS that he needs to do, and punishing Akali when she does kind of stay too close to him in the shroud.
Oh, we have a chicken steal coming from Lee Sin, I think. He has hit and run. Gone back to his own balls. Nothing really to look for here. No, the dragon's not going to be spawning for another few minutes. Herald's not going to be up for another 4.
Gold lead at 2.8k on the side of WWC now, so they haven't really managed to stretch that as much as you usually would have seen with this kind of lead. So only at 2.8 considering where they was earlier. It's not the biggest. It's still obviously a huge lead for them, but nothing that Narweed Win can't come back from, especially with the type of champions that they're playing.
Yeah.
Just some more back and forth trading going on to the Akali. Galio W's Akali backsway with the E.
Akali has finished that the Gunblade. We have the first 2 items actually finished. Gunblade for Akali and which Hydra is that? The Profane Hydra for Lee Sin. Going for lethality.
I don't hate it. He's got the gold lead, and he doesn't really need to force himself into the lethality. Just having the Prophet Hydra early is just a huge way to
Yeah.
really punish people for the gold lead that they gave him, and then he can still transition into a more bruisery kind of tank later on into the game to support his team. So I think the Prophet Hydra is just a perfect pickup. Just gives him everything that he wants to do. He doesn't need the lifesteal from Ravenous Hydra. He doesn't really make use of Titanic that well, and Tiamat is just such an important item to have that Profane just becomes the obvious choice for him there.
Yeah.
Dragon
They
is
did-
back up now. WWC, sorry, looking to take that down as soon as it spawns.
And
Aatrox is
MVP is
nearby, but none of his team is anywhere close to help him. So this Drake is going to go to the side of WWC, and that's a Hextech Drake and a Wind Drake for them now.
and Soul is
Soul is going to be...
Ocean.
Ooh, Ocean could turn
Oh
the tide.
no.
If Narweed Win managed to pick up 3 Oceans, that's going to be huge. But we're coming in for a dive onto the Gwen. The Collie's coming up. The Scion's taking the aggro. The Collie just not actually engaging it. But then comes in with the ulti. Scion's just barely able to get away. The Collie's now going to die. Gets exhausted by the Galio. Gwen doesn't really have the mana to help here, but Galio's going to try and punish with his freaking Cinder Bloom. Collie just managed to get away with the second part of the ulti. Aatrox coming in now with his ulti, flashing with the Q. Managed to get the Collie. Scion now going to get punished because he doesn't have any mana to get away. And that's going to be 2 kills on the side of Narweed Win. Following for the fight down into the bot lane, Ezreal getting caught out by the Nami ulti with the Ezreal.
That Profane Hydra Leeson is terrifying. Brilliant insect kick there. Kicking Ezreal and Nami right into the hands of the Realm, just saying thank you for the delivery. Well, that fight actually got away from the VVC real quick.
Mm-hmm. You do manage to pick it back up with the fight at the bottom, though. Those 2 kills managed to stabilize the lead they had. I mean, down from 2.8 to 1.3, back up to 2.6k gold lead. So not the worst for them, but getting that golden Theatrox may not spell the best news for them. Would like to see some kills onto the Gwen, but I think she's just happy to be alive at the end of the day.
Yeah. We got some more finished items. We got Dusk and Dawn for Gwen. We got Thunder Sky, Aatrox, Triforce, ready for the Ezreal.
Rokan picked up for Scion as well. Static Shiv onto the Kai'Sa, which I'm not 100% sure how Static Shiv really plays anymore with the changes. So I'm excited to see how this is really going to affect Kai'Sa's skirmishing ability with the new changes to it.
I think it's going to do pretty well, especially if they actually do get the front to back if they have to go into the front to back, because one static proc was going to put passive on every single person hit by the lightning.
Yeah. And not to overlook the Gwen, she may be behind, but Dusk and Dawn, such an incredibly powerful item, especially on a champion like Gwen. Really able to start punishing, especially with the red buff. She can just start brawling with that Scion, and he's just forced to kind of walk away. She's just doing infinite damage to him and forced him to ulti. Really nice to see Gwen finally getting some use out of her champion there.
Close to dungeon there.
So Bubble is now, and Sion's going to really struggle to kind of keep the lane where he wants to keep it. She can just endlessly punish him. And with how much HP he has, she's doing a lot of damage to that passive, a lot of healing from the passive as well. So suddenly this really turns into something that's really difficult for Sion to fight.
Yeah. So the small training back and forth again. Gunblade used, didn't even appear to take the damage, but... Oh. Kai'Sa just finished the call. She's got a big influx of money.
And where she's going to put that?
Most likely they're going to go towards a Rage Blade or... Maybe even a Nash's Tooth. I doubt that's going to be the case, but...
I personally think I'd like to see a Nash's in this game. I think it gives her more direct power to start with. And Rageblade I feel like it doesn't do enough at this stage of the game right now. None of the team of Narweed Win are exceptionally tanky, so she doesn't get a lot of options to really stack those Rageblade procs, except on the Galio. But if she's attacking the Galio, then worse things are happening, and there's more problems to be talked about there.
Yeah, a bunch of gnats flying around the Galio right now. Ooh. Aatrox has jumped the wall, getting stunned by the...
Gets locked down by Rel.
Gallo did all he could there, but no. That's not going to be the case. Yeah, that's going to be a dead
questionable E over the wall there by the Aatrox.
I don't know if they actually knew that Lee Sin was there. I have to go back and look at that.
Lee Sin looking to take Herald.
Some small trades back and forth mid again.
Lee Sin looks like he's going to be able to take Herald very peacefully. Nobody really able to contest. No vision for the side of Narweedwin. And honestly, the vision game for WWC a lot better than Narweedwin overall. They have info in the bot side jungle. They've got info in top side river. Gwen currently just again forcing that Scion away. Not much he can do at this point in the match now. She's got her plated steel cap. She's got her Dusk and Dawn, and she's really a monster that Scion just as a champion isn't ready to face, no matter how much gold he has.
It's going to be taking a lot of gold, and even then, I don't even know if I'm going to put. There has to be some major misplays from the Gwen for Science to get the upper hand again.
I think Scion maybe would have been better served going for someone like a Force of Nature, given that movement speed. So when Gwen does go into him, he's able to more safely get away and get more of that magic resist as well. As Force of Nature, when it's fully stacked, does provide more magic resist than Runa, and Ruckan, I'm pretty sure.
It
How do
definitely
you
does.
pronounce that? It is Ruckan, isn't it? Yeah.
Pronunciation for different places of the world. Ruckan.
Herald throw down in mid. Galio going to try and force it back, not let it hit the tower, but definitely not going to be able to do that, and he's going to get a full HP swing on the mid tower.
First turret, Kaiser's
It's
still
going
out
to
of
be
position.
first turret.
Nope.
Yeah, but she's Kaiser. She's fine. She's out.
Yeah. Nami ult was used trying to get something, but no, not going to happen. Dragon has spawned, and NVV is definitely
This
in a better
could
position
result
to
in a
take this
dragon
one.
for Narweedwin over here.
Oh, TP
Not
coming in
going
from
to be
Zion,
able
coming to the
to...
bottom lane.
Yeah. Looks like they are trying to catch the red out. They're trying to find a pick here so they can fight 4v5, which isn't a terrible option. As long as they can just make sure they aren't doing damage to that dragon, this is going to be potentially really huge for Narweedwin. I definitely think they have the teamfight advantage at this stage in the game. Kaiser's at half HP, Lee Sin's at half HP, and Gwen's just an absolute monster. Sion trying to make Akali and Ren stay out of it. Nami getting low, Ezreal going onto the Akali. If they pick off the Akali, that's going to be huge. They do get to the Lee Sin though, so there's no smite now for the side of WWC. Ezreal almost low, gets saved by the Galio. Sion still at full HP. Gwen's nowhere to be seen at the moment though. Definitely need to get back in the fight and fight onto the Sion, but Sion is going down. Raoul's getting low. Sion's at 30% HP. Does find a Q, gets some stunning action. Gwen was fighting the Drake apparently.
Gwen was
And that looks like it's going to be a Drake for the side of Narweedwin there.
Yeah,
Now take a
they
breath.
definitely do. They definitely do well doing that. There was some beautiful marking there. Galio doing his best to mark both Rel and Akali, while Gwen taking that role against Kai'Sa, making sure they don't really get to do exactly what they want. It was actually a really
that's
good position.
beautifully played by Narweedwin. Really great positioning, really great isolation from the Galio there onto the Akali and the Rel, stopping them from really doing anything. And then when the Akali found an opportunity to jump on the Nami, Ezreal jumps right in onto her with to the Galio. She gets taunted, she gets queued, she really gets forced away, and then ultimately ends up in her losing a life there. And I think she may have gave down some shutdown gold as well. So definitely not something you want to see as WWC, as this gives a very big opportunity for Narweedwin to come back into the game. Despite the gold lead, Narweedwin surprisingly even, just due to the champions they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, we said it in champs tonight. Ezreal is really slippery, and Nami is doing a great job keeping you safe. Galio again, that almost impenetrable wall. You can't. It's not even like Sion you can ignore and just trying to walk around. No. Galio's gonna force you to actually talk to him.
And just like, look at this. He's built so defensively, but she just doesn't care.
No.
And once again, Gwen is in fact immune as she takes him down to half HP.
She just snip.
That's just mean.
Red buff available to be taken by the Ezreal there if he goes and picks it up.
In 20 minutes, that means Baron has spawned, and it's not the dangerous kind. Yeah, they're not.
Red buff also going to Kai'Sa as well, so both ADCs now with a red buff on them. That could spell disaster for anybody that gets caught out, especially if it's maybe like a Sion or an Aatrox. They don't really have much way to get away from that consistent slow, especially with the ADCs that they have, so really nice to have that on the ADCs there.
I don't know if this is a decently split team here, because you definitely want the Galio into the Akali and not the Gwen.
I mean, yeah, you definitely do prefer him on the Akali, but it's also harder for him to keep up with the Akali and Gwen at the moment. I think she's...
The Akali doesn't have her either. Actually, got hit by the Aatrox sweet spot.
Rel trying to save though. Aatrox does get the kill with the EQ there. Rel forced to dash away. Lee Sin may have to blow his ulti here to save the Rel.
Gwen
I know
is
he's just going
definitely
to
gonna
let
get
her
this
die. They're going
one.
to sacrifice the kill there, keep the cooldown. But that does give a shutdown away to the Gwen, and now they're in a position to fight Baron. Sion's in the bot lane. He doesn't have TP. This could spell disaster for the side of WWC. Kaiser's just going to have to push mid. They're going to try and get some plates. They're going to get a tower. But this could potentially spell disaster on the clapback when Norwegian have that Baron and they try and force these fights.
Taking a very, I think they're doing the best they can actually for that trade, VVC, and just decided to trade the Baron for 2 turrets.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a trade that they're super unhappy with.
They're not getting the second turret there. 1 turret. It's definitely a very terrible terrible trade, but it's definitely better than nothing.
Oh, it's definitely a terrible trade, but I don't think they're as unhappy as they could be. You know, they have the ability to fight. They've shown that they're able to do these smaller skirmishes as long as they just don't make any more mistakes and lose any more champions where they shouldn't be losing them. Which
Oh,
might
Gallows
happen
found
here.
can
Galio and Aatrox forcing a 2v3 here, but they have Baron. They're
and
able to do it.
just
Forces the Sion to ulti away, which leaves Kai'Sa on alone. She has to flash away. Nami ulti coming down is going to get the Kai'Sa. It does get the Kai'Sa. She's super slowed down. She's just going to die.
just
And that's a huge
left
kill to go down. They can just fully push this bot lane.
with Baron empowered minions as well, grouped up as a team, and Gwen going up to Market Quality. It's doing brilliant maneuvering here. Turret. What is that? That is the.
I think I
That's
would
the
like to
first
see them
turret
push
phase.
down to the tier 2. I mean, the Kai'Sa's still dead. They have the Baron empowered minions. I think I definitely would have liked to see them go to a tier 2. They don't really have anything to worry about mid lane because both their tier 2 is already down. I feel like that's a little bit of a misplay there from the side of Narweed Win. Missing out on a lot of gold that they maybe could have picked up on this Baron play as they're still only at... I mean, I actually can't see the Baron play because I'm a few seconds behind on the Twitch chat, but I want to say they're about 2k at the Baron gold now at the moment. Fight coming at the top side, Galio ulti's in, trying to get another pick onto the Lee Sin. Maybe able to get him. Yeah, they are going to get the Lee Sin there. Gwen's going in for the Akali. She's meant to get the ulti onto the Gwen, which slows her, but she's not going to follow up. She knows that Gwen is a very, that Akali is a very scary champion to fight, even for someone that's ahead like this Gwen is.
Oh,
Drops
looks like
in for
she
the
actually
side, going to
was.
catch the Gwen out of position here. Gwen's not going to be able to fight this, I don't think.
She's no longer
I
immune.
think he's
So
the potential
definitely.
outplay. She does dodge the Ren's CC, does get ignited, needs to wait for that ignite to come off, does flash away, try and get some damage down onto the Akali. Akali does get the E and finishes up with the kill though.
Yeah. Galio has found the Sion, and now just been trying to block him, just make sure he can't just unstoppable way. But he's going the other way.
He's taking a trip downtown.
He is going to do the. Nope, he is. He isn't basing. He's not taking a minute. He is just walking back. A decent flank at
30
least. That he has
seconds
found the
left of this
back of
Baron.
Ezreal and Nami, charging up the smash.
But is it going to make a
nope.
difference? Ezreal doesn't have too much mana, so he does have to be careful. They are going to try and get down the Drake, but there isn't TP coming down. Ezreal gets caught, he's going to die. And Red Team do get the Drake, though, so that is good, but there's a lot of damage going down. Nami's about to get a pop. It's just Aatrox left in the group of 4, and just doesn't have the ability to sustain there. So good pickups from WWC, but that is a second Ocean Drake going to the side of Norweed Win, which is what they want to see. They definitely have the higher sustain, they definitely have the tankier champions, and they're going to get a lot more use out of that healing if they can just stay alive long enough.
Yeah.
Still about 10 more seconds of the Baron, making it a bit hard for the side of WWC to push. They are going to get 1 tower out of it, but it's going to be unlikely they're going to be able to push to the tier 3s.
So brilliant, brilliant thinking there from the Sion, making sure that it did not actually just base, and actually just walk back to the fight where the fight was actually going to be. No vision on him, saw him go into that bush and try. So it was a
Yeah, I guess they just expected
distance.
that he backed, but no, Sion does not back down. Sion runs through your top side, bot side jungle, comes behind you, and slaps you where you shouldn't be slapped in the dragon fights.
Going back, the game is a real back and forth. VVC is actually coming out on top.
Dare I say, I think
now.
this has been one of the most interesting games of the season so far.
Third game yesterday wasn't.
No comment.
I think your game was very interested, Martin.
Oh, I'm sure you did, Shade. Mrs. puts you in a bubble in the timeout zone.
Oh, she didn't get Nami.
Yeah, I was farting around instead.
Yep.
Ah. My memory escapes me.
Oh, Gwen has found the Sion. Sion has to turn.
I mean, she doesn't get the kill here. She's past the point of killing Sion. Sion doesn't really get to kill her in an extended fight, but in the same way, she just really hard to kill him unless she really overcommits, at which point she does leave herself open to getting collapsed on. But they are going to send Nami and Aatrox down, so if she can get in front of the Scion ulti, she may be in a position to stop him, but not able to get in front, which does leave the top tower open and vulnerable. If
No,
Kaiser and
Galio
Rao
is
come up, they may be able to take down this Galio and get the top side, which is not something that you want to see on the side of Norwegian, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill him in time. He just managed to clear most of the wave, but they are going to get some plates at the very least.
check items, see what's any new things. Just hit 3 item Aatrox there with Spirit Sojourn and Endless Hunger.
Yeah, if he gets left alone and uncc'd in fights, he's going to be an absolute menace. Gwen really telling the Scion that she's upset with him after how he bullied her in the start of the game.
That is, yeah, very much so. I would be too. The junglers actually seem to be doing the most of the heavy lifting right now with 3 items on each. Saying that though, that is a Kaiser with 3 items.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the gold, I mean, the junglers are surprisingly even only a 1k difference, which isn't too much given that both at 3 items. You have a 1.5k and 1.8k gold lead for the Akali and Kaiser respectively, which is very scary. But also Gwen only being 100 gold behind is very deceptive. I mean, she is going to do a lot more work than that Sion's going to be able to, especially if he doesn't manage to get those big Q stuns that he needs to get. So
Yeah.
Gwen may not be showing a huge gold lead, but she definitely is able to put out a lot more damage than Sion right now.
Yeah, that Akali extending the CS lead by almost 40 now. That's major, the CS differences in the solo laners. What's that, 42, almost 40 in the mid lane? So really impressive farming here. Ooh, quick hit by the missiles from Kai'Sa.
I mean, mid laners almost at 10 CS per minute. I mean, the Kali is at the 10 CS mark per minute, so ADC is not too far behind. I mean, overall, just over the past few years, the league's been operating. I mean, CS per minute has gradually gone up and up, especially with some of the minion changes, and people just getting a better understanding of the game. So it's very good to see these higher CS counts than you would see in a typical solo queue match.
Definitely really good. We all can't see the dragon time either. There. There we go. 27 seconds for the dragon. Oh, Akali has found a target. Akali has found Ezreal. Ezreal is in very big danger here. Akali is dashing over with the second part of her ulti. And just doesn't get to kill him. He's still alive! Oh, there it is. But in the meantime, Aatrox has said, take him. I'll take the rest of yours.
And now it's just Sion left to lick his wounds and try and make it home. He doesn't have his ulti, so it's going to be a very difficult task, and it's just hoping that he can buy some time and delay any kind of push they may have. But this is ultimately going to lead to another Drake on the side of Norwegian, and that's going to be 3 Ocean Drakes, which is something you definitely want to see. When they get sold, they're going to be very, very hard to kill.
Yeah, I would dread to fight an Aatrox with 3 Ocean Drake souls.
Not only that, but the Galio as well. It's really difficult to kill. And then Ezreal no longer really needs his Nami to really support him that much anymore, because he's going to have that sustain from the soul when they get it. So if they can pick up this Nest Drake, things are looking really, really good for the side of Norwegian win.
He was left completely to his own device. I guess that Akali and actually did wonders surviving for as long as he did. Aatrox being caught out and actually chose a really bad fight. Ignite was used from
Looks like WDC are looking to capitalize off that pick and maybe get the Baron here. They are going to be a man up soon. Sion's going to be able to TP with his respawn. Aatrox down for 40 seconds, which means no smite for the side of WWC, but it looks like they definitely are clearing the ward, so maybe going to try and force it, which could be a bit dangerous if they don't play this correctly. They probably need to find another pick, which Akali's probably going to get onto the Nami. Just find a kill onto the Nami. She's going to be able to get away from the Ezreal, just like landing on W. She's going to hide there for a bit. Does get knocked by the Galio though, and is going to die to his, what's it called? The
Hollow Radiance.
Hollowed Radiance, that's it. But in the meantime, Kai'Sa and Lee Sin just absolutely bursted down the Nashor.
Looking for another fight. Kai'Sa is continuing to beat
onto the
onto
Rao. She's going to be able to get that though. Nobody's going to be able to save her. Galio just forcing off the other team from coming to help. So they are going to get a pick and get rid of one of those Barons. Which means there's only going to be 3 Baron players left on the side of WWC, which I don't think you mind as WWC. You take away the ability for Norway to win to get the Baron. You allow yourselves time to stabilize, and while you do lose a bit of that gold lead, you do get some of it back from the Baron, and you still have those Baron minions to stop any pushes, to give you a bit of enhancement in those team fights as well.
That was a very cool dodge there. by the Gwen, making sure to dodge away. Blinded too, I believe. Spidey senses were tingling and then decided to dodge away from the Zion Q.
We may be looking at the first 40-minute game of the season, I think.
It's definitely looking that way, but both teams are pretty happy with the late game. Aatrox, Gwen, that Kai'Sa was just gonna be hurting a lot.
Yeah,
The
finished her
minutes.
Nash's Tooth now. Got some of her magic pen that she needs as well. Picking up an Executioners to deal with the healing that is inevitably going to come out. We also have the Executioners on the Lee Sin. We have the Bramble Vest on the Scion. So a lot of anti-healing now to go around. But it's only 40% reduction nowadays. Anti-heal just not as strong as it used to be, and Akali might be finding a kill onto the Gwen, but does get some damage, does force the ulti out of Gwen, does use the ulti herself, and forces the Gwen to Zanya's, but Galio's coming in, and Aatrox is right behind. Akali's forced to Zanya's, and the Akali's going to go down. The Scion of Rao in a very tricky position here now in a 2v3. The Gwen may be low, but she's got the Omnivamp, she's got her passive, she's just going to heal right back up.
Almost a really good catch there. It just took a little bit too long to kill the Gwen, and then, sadly, I think I don't think they were going to do it in time, just because they had to wait for so many cooldowns. And again, the global pressure from Galio just gives him an advantage yet again.
I mean, just look how tanky he is. Hardly takes any damage. He's going to heal all of that back up soon with the Ocean Drake, sorry. And this gold lead is just looking less and less meaningful. I mean, Akali's all the way down to only 600 gold lead, and she's just not had the impact that you want to see. She's really struggled to find these isolations, to find these 1v1 kills that she really needs to get. She's just not picking anybody off, and it's causing a lot of disaster for the side of WWC.
So going back to the standard bookkeeping here. 3 items now. Shadow Flame completed by the Gwen.
1 minute 10 seconds for the whole.
Yeah, Death Dance even completed for that Aatrox, getting even harder to kill now.
Especially with Soul coming up if they manage to get it, especially with the Nami healing.
If he also gets a kill, that Ender Hunger is just going to make him spike in HP again and again and again.
Yeah, I don't think the anti-healing is going to be enough for the Aatrox. I'd like to see a more tanky iron come out for him now to give him some of that larger HP and resistances so he can actually get a lot more effective use out of the healing that he's getting. Which he does like he might be doing. He is picking up a magic vest right here.
Most likely, perhaps
Megatron
going
sorry.
in. Yeah. Oh, that's not magic mantle.
You know what? I give up on IM names. I've been playing way too much Dota. I give up.
He's most likely going for Spirit Visage there just to get a little bit.
I would like to see the Spirit Visage, but I also wouldn't be opposed to seeing something like Force of Nature from him either to give him that mobility, because sometimes healing, too much healing is too much healing, and it's like WWC are going to definitely force a fight here. They know that this is their last chance to kind of pull anything back from the game. If they lose Soul to Na'Vi win, it is just spanning over. Rao comes in with a huge ulti, huge CC. Gary follows up from the ulti. They're going to get the kill onto Nami. So Nami's down. They don't have any healing left on the side of Na'Vi win. They are going to find the kill onto Rao. Gwen fighting the best that she can, but she's really low. She got the ignite on. She got really healed. There's a kill coming down not from the Akali. The Ezreal managed to find the kill here, and suddenly tides have turned, and we're in a better position for the side of Na'Vi win as they get almost an ace with only Scion left, and Gwen definitely trying to get him down. Is going to get the healing, and she's going to get the kill, and that's going to be the ace for the side of Na'Vi win, and this should spell game.
What a beautiful fight there. All credits to the Rel for that beautiful engage. 4 out of 5 people caught in a Magna Storms and Q-stun. Sadly, the only one that actually got the kill was the Nami. Ezreal, for the first time, was left to free fire. It just put out so much damage, and in the meantime, the one chasing an assassin was Aatrox.
Yeah, and the Akali just once again, she just couldn't find the important picks.
No.
I mean, they killed the Nami. The Nami didn't really get to do anything. No ulti, no heals, no bubbles, and it just didn't matter.
No, especially after that kill, there was no stopping that Aatrox.
Yeah, no, that's an
Beautiful game.
insane game from Narbid Win. Very, very happy with their performance. And overall, I'm not upset with the performance of WWC. I mean, I think the Akali could have done a better job getting some of those picks, and I think they could have played some of the game a bit better, but they definitely put on a show. They gave a performance, and for the most of the game, they were holding the gold lead. They just didn't really know how to transition that. So, game does go to Narbid Win, and yeah, I'm happy to just see how that goes. A very fun match to watch.
If
Now,
only you
who
voted
do
for
you
them to
think's the
win.
MVP?
Oh goodness. I'm going to give it to. In my opinion, I don't know if it's just in my opinion. The Israel being able to stay alive under the assault of the Akali for so long as he did.
You know,
I
Ezreal
mean, it's
definitely did a wonderful job staying alive. I do have to give props to the Gwen though. She really managed to pull back from that
yeah.
spectacular disaster that happened to her in lane. Being forced down 2 levels, so much gold, so much experience, and being able to come back and have the presence that she had was super impactful. But then you also have the Aatrox doing wonderful things when he's not eating over a wall into 4 people. You've got the Nami just providing so much support for that Ezreal to not die in those earlier fights. Um, yeah, I mean, it's really tough. And then also the Galio, an insane wall that just couldn't be broken.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it just
destructive.
took me out of the lobby, so I can't even see the post-game stats. Thank you, Riot Client, I suppose.
They do love you.
Indeed.
So unfortunately, Twitch chat, no post-game stats, but things went well for the side of Norweed Win. We all saw ended in roughly, I think, a 2k gold lead at the side of Norweed Win after being consistently down about 2 gold for pretty much all of the entire game. But yeah, I think I would like to see the damage if we're able to find that at all, but I don't think that's going to be possible without Shane.
Yes, unfortunately, Shane is not here today. We'll have to survive with what we have.
Well, listen, you are the queen of Scuff tournaments, so nothing new there, and I think we're all happy to see a little bit of Scuff in our Summoners Showdown.
But it's fine, guys, because we have bracket. There we go. This is the bracket. Now we'd win one, as I think and thought they would. I believed, even when they did not. And
So yeah, I think
now.
maybe we should do a poll for who Twitch chat thinks was MVP, and then bring them up for a little interview.
Let's see. Let's see. Can I even do a poll? I know I can do a prediction, but can I do a poll?
I would hope so.
I
Considering
think
this
I
is your
can.
tournament, I would hope so.
Yes, here I am working on it, guys. Give me a second. I'll put on some
I mean, Twitch chat could
music in
always
the
do us the favor
meantime.
of just typing who they think was the MVP. If they want to plop that down into chat, who they thought really shined a lot more than anybody else in the match.
Okay, and we are looking at our dear players.
I am going to see if I can find the stats from that game from one of their ob.ggs to give some insight to the humble Twitch chatters. But I don't know if custom games show up in op.gg.
Sadly, they don't. So.
Classic op.gg.
Who
This
did
is
we
not
have?
last time I checked.
We had Aatrox, we had Gwen, and Galio.
I am going to see if I can go get the stats from one of the team members, so I will leave you to it. I'll be back in just a moment.
Perfect. Cool.
There, you have 2 minutes.
I have what?
2 minutes to vote on the MVP.
Do go ahead and vote. Okay. Yeah. I was half expecting Nami to be the only champion named with a capital N.
I wanted to, but you know.
No.
I am happy whenever Nami is represented. That's
Okay,
why.
I have some of the stats, Twitch chat. We have stats.
Oui.
If I stream, can you show them the stats? Probably not.
No.
Okay, well, regardless, we have the stats. So, in terms of damage lead, it was very close between the Akali and the Gwen. Gwen coming in at 39k damage, Akali at 38k damage. Scoreboard's looking at 3 deaths for the Gwen, 4 for the Aatrox, 0 for the Galio, which is insane against a Grandmaster Akali and how much he was bullying him in lane. I'm very, very surprised to see no deaths on the Galio at all. 3 deaths to the Ezreal, 5 to the Nami, 4 to the Sion, 5 to the Lee Sin, 5 to the Akali, 4 to the Kai'Sa, and 5 to the Ralph. Gold lead ended up at about 3k in the favour of the side of Narweed win. Aatrox, Galio, and Ezreal sharing the spotlight of second place damage, all between 23 to 25k. And then Kai'Sa and Sion going in with the second most damage on the side of WWC with 26 and 20k respectively. Let's see, is Twitch chat giving us an MVP yet?
Yeah, but it's still voting, I believe. But it looks like Galio is taking it.
Okay, let's bring Mr. Galio up then. I don't think I can move people, Shade, so that will
Yes,
have to
yes,
be
I'm on
Galio.
it. I'm on it.
Do ask him. It's just sort of yoinking.
No,
No, just
I'm
yoink.
gonna...
That's how we work in this tournament. We
I
just
noticed.
yoink.
I can't
Even if they don't speak English, we yoink them anyway and hope for the best.
I'm French.
French. Okay, yoink.
Wait,
You've been
congratulations.
Hi, so Twitch chat has declared you the MVP, Mr. Galio. How did you find that matchup there, struggling in the early game a little bit against the Grandmaster Akali, but finding a way into the mid game and becoming a really unstoppable wall into that late game?
I mean, the matchup-wise, like, as long as I don't die early, I know like I can stop Akali on any engage, any fight. I can zone Akali off, and if I don't flip early game, if I don't like ego check, like I'm always gonna be ahead mid game, and then Akali is unable to get on carries, and she just cannot play. I was surprised I picked her that early.
I mean, I think they had a lot of confidence in the fact that it was their Grandmaster player. He was, by the looks of it, a one-trick on that Akali, so we in the casting, we were expecting the Akali to come out. But yeah, it sounds like you're very confident in your play there with the Akali, though. Was a few close calls into the early game, a few situations where you were below 100, and I think a couple where you're below 20 HP in that mid lane.
I mean, yeah, usually like I'm keeping flash, I'm keeping enough mana for like taunt or knock up. That's why I play like so close to tower. And like, I think like when you pick Akali into a matchup like this and you're a player like way higher elo, like I think mistake he did is like not taking stuff like Conqueror. Like you don't need Electrocute that's gonna get outscaled after like 10 minutes if you win lane anyway. I think if they ran a different setup and drafted like different jungler, like they could open up mid game way more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then one question we had in the casting crew over here was how did you feel that the new Keystone kind of worked with you? We're kind of talking about how it's not exactly the same as Phase Rush, but you don't really have anything similar. So how did you find the new Keystone on Galio?
I mean, yeah, with the Keystone change, like ideally you wanna run like Rocket Belt, you wanna play some more AP, and then like you can actually proc it more often with this setup, like more tanky Galio. Like it's not ideal, but when you get to like you land your whole combo, like then you actually proc it. It's a bit harder if you're playing like tank version.
Great. And then lastly, how do you feel going into the rest of the tournament with that kind of first win under your belt in quite a spectacular fashion, I might add?
I mean, I just believe in my team. Like we believe in each other. We cover each other weaknesses. We know like one specific lane, like every game it's gonna suffer, and we have like other people in the team that will always back you up. So we just play together and prepare for every match like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to hear that. Any questions for Chovy from you, Lighty or Shade?
No, I think you covered it perfectly.
Nope,
Well, thank
we
you.
can start soon because the teams are a bit on a timer. So as soon as they're all in the lobby, we'll go to the next game. Speaking of, we have a little bit of a change in the schedule.